All right, so the Rams add another running back. It is Boston Scott. We're going to talk about exactly why they did this, why I actually really like this move, and we'll talk about whether or not he's going to make the 53-man roster. Before we dive into it, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, be sure to follow me on all social media at JKBogan. Let's get into it. So, Boston, Neelan Scott. He is a running back who is 5'6", 203 pounds. This is someone who ran a 4.4 40 coming out of college and, obviously was drafted by the Saints back in 2018, but spent his entire career with the Philadelphia Eagles. So Boston Scott is incredibly intriguing here. The Rams just added him, and a lot of people are wondering what this means. Fantasy, of course, people are wondering what that means for them. First off, I'm just going to say this right now. I don't think this has any effect on Kyren Williams. I don't even think this has any effect on Blake Corum. Those are 1 and 2 on the running back room chart. Now, if you're Ronnie Rivers or if you're Zach Evans, this could mean trouble for you to make this roster. Boston Scott is somebody that has really good hands in the receiving game, has receiving ability, hasn't been utilized as much with the Eagles, the last few years. But this is somebody that has flashed big-time games when needed. And, I think what you're getting in Scott is a guy that has return ability. And when you talk about the new kick returning rules, while it may seem like, with the stopping and, waiting for, the receiver to catch the ball, essentially, the returner to catch the ball, and then you can go. While it seems like a lot of players that maybe have never given returns a shot might actually work in that realm, I still feel like, at least this year for the start, you're going to have a lot of teams going after guys that you already know can return kicks and punts, and Boston Scott is one of those guys. So my thought process on this is you're adding a guy who has breakaway speed. You're adding a guy who's the fastest guy in the running back room day one. You're adding a guy who has pass catching ability out of the backfield, which is only going to help the running back room as a whole. And you're adding a guy that can essentially be your return guy. Okay. So is Boston Scott going to come in and take over the Kyren Williams role? Absolutely not. Is he going to come in and take over Blake Corum's role? I don't see it. I do think, though, if you're a fan of Zach Evans or Ronnie Rivers, right now is the time to panic, because I think that they, adding him after the draft the way they did, clearly they really like this guy. They like what he can, do, and they had a need for it. And, I think looking at the depth chart the way it is right now, Corum's faster. He tested faster than a lot of people expected, but he's not blazing fast by any stretch. Kyren is not blazing fast, and neither is Ronnie Rivers. Zach Evans was the closest thing to a home run threat, and even still, he's not quite as fast as a guy like Boston Scott. So I think this is a big deal for the Rams, and I'm excited because it's not to take anything away from the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not trying to say, that they totally ruined this guy or whatever, who, by the way, just turned 29 3 days ago. But what I want to say is this. He may not have a significant role in the Rams offense, but if he has any sort of role in the Rams offense with what Sean McVay can do, I am very excited. We saw something similar to this back in 2018, I believe, maybe 2019, with Lance Dunbar, and he just couldn't stay healthy. So we never got to see what Sean McVay would do with Lance Dunbar, who had kind of the similar, skill set. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do with Boston Scott. Again, offers that long speed that these other guys don't have. And even though that he's 5'6", this guy bounces off of tackles. He's filled out. He's over 200 pounds. So, the last few years only caught 9 passes, was only targeted 12 times. So he hasn't really been utilized as much over the last few years, especially in the passing game. But it wasn't that long ago where he had back-to-back 200-yard seasons in the receiving game from 2019 to 2020. So this is definitely somebody I think will be better with the Rams if they give him the opportunity. And I definitely see the reason going out and bolstering your running back room. Is Boston Scott going to be a superstar? No, but he's somebody that's very well respected. He had 10 total touchdowns, he had 7 total touchdowns back in 2021 when he was 26 years old. So hasn't really lost any of those, any of that athletic capability. I like this move. Again, this is somebody that has that long speed. He has a 56-yard run as his longest for his career, if that gives you any indication. 4.3 yards per carry average, which is pretty damn good for just like this backup that's considered undersized. And he's caught 71 of 90 passes for his career for 566 yards and a touchdown. I think end of the day, you're getting a guy that is a pretty solid contributor, okay? He's not a number one running back. I don't know if he's a number two. I think he's more of a number three. He's more of like a gadget scat. And also you can use him as a returner. So I feel like this is a relatively low risk, high reward play here that, you know, Les Snead, Sean McVay, and the Rams are doing, and I'm a fan of it. So where does that leave Zach Evans? Where does that leave Ronnie Rivers? I guess, you know, we'll find out. I mean, Zach Evans could come out and just have an absolutely dominant performance this training camp. And even, you know, I wouldn't be against it, you know, if he proved himself. But, you know, the Rams are going to play the best opportunity. They're going to play the best guy. They're going to play the guy that gives them the best chance to win games. And if Zach Evans takes the next step this year, I mean, he could push Corum, you know. But it's a matter of him doing such. And the same thing with Ronnie Rivers. And keep this in mind, these contracts are not extremely taxing on the cap. So while that's a good thing, it's also a bad thing if you're one of those guys because it's easier to get rid of you. So same thing goes for Boston Scott, who probably signed close to a veteran minimum deal here on a one-year deal. I like this move. We'll see what ends up happening. I'm curious your thoughts. Drop them in the comments section below. But unfortunately, well, I won't say necessarily, this could be the last time on this channel that you see me in this setup. I'm obviously not giving the channel up. If anything, I'll probably be putting out more content than you're used to. But I am moving, okay? So I don't know if I'll have another recording here, you know, for this channel. I'll be going on a show, the AFC West Roundtable. You can check that out if it's already happened by the time you've watched this. But yeah, I think this is it. And if it is, it's been a wild ride. I mean, I started over there, which you can't see, but I started over there on a broken futon when I started my content creation journey and doing live streams on Facebook that 30 people would watch and I'd get excited. All the way to the point where, you know, Alexis and I just had some of the craziest stat-breaking, record-breaking, you know, stuff happen this weekend. I mean, it was the most watch hours and the most views that we've ever had concurrently in a live stream. That's regardless of if it's JE Live or whatever. So credit to you guys. And honestly, I can't stress this enough. Because yes, I saved the money and I've worked my tail off, but without you guys actually liking the content, I wouldn't be able to move tomorrow. I wouldn't be able to move into a nice apartment. And I am so excited to show you guys my new setup. It's going to be a work in progress, of course. So maybe the first time you see me, the studio isn't going to be very studio-ish. But give it time. Over time, it's going to look really nice. I am planning on, you know, changing it up a little bit. And I'm just super excited because I think now with this space and everything just committing to this full time like I have, I feel like now, you know, I'm hitting my stride to the point where, you know, people are asking me, hey, are you going to put out, you know, a video today? And I hadn't done it yet. You know, I got DMs and stuff. And it's like, yeah, actually I will. And I think I want to do more live streams. And I think I want to try different things. So really excited for that element of it, but I can't stress enough, if you guys didn't consume this content, if you guys didn't vibe with what I was throwing out there, if you guys didn't like, subscribe, tell your friends, tweet about it, share it, if you guys didn't interact, if you guys didn't donate, if you guys didn't buy merch, I mean, none of this would be possible. I hope I'm making that clear, that not only am I thankful, but I want you to understand how big of a role that you've played yourself watching this into my ability to move, my ability to essentially take the next step in life. And so I'm very excited about it. You know, I love living with my parents. It's been great. But at some point, you know, it's time to move on, and it's that for me. So just really excited about what the future holds. And hopefully we'll look back at this random, this random video where we're talking about Boston Scott going to the Rams. We'll look back and be like, wow, he moved out that day, and then this is where it ended up going. So yeah, here's to many more videos. Here's to potentially many more setups. I mean, I have 15th month lease. That is a mouthful for this apartment. So hopefully the next setup is a nice house and so forth. And, just again, thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm rambling, but I'm thanking you. So if this is the last video that you see on this channel with this setup, just know that I appreciate it. Tomorrow I'll be moving around all over the place, so I don't know if I'll put out a video tomorrow. Might have one pre-scheduled. That's also a possibility with this setup, so this kind of ruins it. But if not, thank you. For real. Take care, folks. Later. Do you love talking about the Rams, the NFL, or just want to be a part of a community? Join my free Discord server today. We're over 800 members. We got 24/7 live chat, a level 3 boosted server, the ability to call into JE Live, playing online games with us on Kick streams, toggleable alerts for when I go live on YouTube or Kick so you don't miss a live stream, and exclusive giveaways. Click the link in the description, the comments section, or the link that comes up in the video to learn more and join today.